So over the last 7 to 8 years, I've tried and tested almost everything inside of digital marketing, from running Facebook ads for my own dropshipping store, to managing multiple 6 to 7 figure Google Ads accounts for clients, to growing brand new websites, to over 100K in monthly organic traffic through SEO, as well as building a personal brand on YouTube. And even recently, I solo built my own SaaS digital marketing tool. And in that time, I've made a lot of mistakes, spent a lot of money on these mistakes. And so this is how I would personally start over if I could in 2024. So the first thing is I would start off with learning the basics. I'm a big fan of getting experience as soon as you can, but it's also important to make sure that you understand a couple basic things just so you know more or less where you're heading. And there's two main ideas that I want to talk about here. The first is recognizing that digital marketing is just how we capture the attention of users in the digital space. So just like traditional media has had a variety of channels like radio and TV and billboards and newspapers, attention nowadays has completely shifted online, as you guys already know. So the attention is now in search engines, social media channels, email, and high traffic websites. Think about all the different websites and apps that you use on a daily basis on your phone or on your computer. That's where the attention is nowadays. So at the end of the day, it's a very basic idea. We basically just need to market and go where our users' attention is at. Now, the second thing is there's an important distinction inside of digital marketing because there's an organic and there's a paid side of digital marketing. So we'll get to this in a little bit later, but as an example, let's say that I have a furniture store. So in the same way that I can create a Facebook page and an Instagram account and start creating content and sharing all the different products that I have on these pages, and eventually I can get sales through that, I can also create ads and target people specifically that could be interested in purchasing those items. So that distinction is also important when we're starting out. Now, if you're completely lost at this level, I highly recommend watching a few other videos on digital marketing, what it means, and maybe even taking a quick course on Udemy as well. Now, once we've gotten the basics out of the way, I would recommend starting with a website. Yes, even before we start learning any digital marketing skills, we have to take a look at websites and properly know how to build one. The main reason for that is that most user journeys inside of digital marketing will end up in some type of individual website. Let's say again that I want to buy furniture. I'm most likely going to be scrolling on Pinterest. I'm going to see an ad. I'm going to click on the ad, and that's going to take me to some furniture provider, and I'm going to end up making a transaction on that website. If I want a recommendation on the greatest book, I'm going to go on Google and search something related to that book. I'm going to find a blog that recommends that I shop on some other store online. So most transactions will happen on individual stores, on service-based websites, or software websites. So we need to understand the different parts of websites and also the flow and behavior of users. We don't actually need to learn how to code if we want to do this, so don't worry about that. There's plenty of options nowadays, building on WordPress, on Wix, on Squarespace, and even Webflow if you want to be a little bit more advanced or if you're a designer. And what I would recommend is trying to build a portfolio for yourself. That's usually good enough experience to kind of get a hold of all the different parts of a website. Or instead, if you want to offer a free website build to a friend of yours that has a business or a family member, that also works extremely well. And additionally, guys, this is also going to teach you a really important skill, which is the art of self-teaching online. So let's say you're stuck and maybe adding a logo to your website or the contact form isn't working. You're going to go online and see how people are fixing that, right? There's going to be 20 different solutions that won't work, but eventually you're going to find one that does. And that's a great feeling, finding that solution, but it's also a phenomenal skill. And it's an essential skill for growing as a digital marketer, right? Being self-sufficient for finding solutions online. Now, we've covered the basics, we've gotten a little bit of experience with building our own website, and now I recommend picking one lane inside of digital marketing. And as we learned before, there's a lot of different channels, a lot of different ways of learning digital marketing. The main thing that I would recommend here is just becoming a T-shaped marketer. So what that means is you have some experience and some knowledge of all the different categories inside of digital marketing, but you have a lot of experience in one specific area. So you specialize in that area. You want to become the go-to expert for that thing. And the deeper you go, the more valuable you can become. So read all the blogs, watch all the YouTube videos, buy all the courses, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to recommend anything specific, but also don't get stuck on the cycle of just watching, right? Make sure you're taking action and getting exposed to data as soon as you can. The great thing about this strategy and going deep in one specific category is that once you have all that knowledge, there's going to be things that overlap into other categories. So there's going to be things in SEO that overlap into Facebook ads, that also overlap into Google Google Ads. So it's going to be a lot easier to then learn those other skills if you'd like. Additionally, if you start working in one area, let's say you dive deep into SEO, there's going to be clients, or maybe your coworker asks you if you also know Google Ads or Facebook ads, and then you can jump ship and learn the next thing. And this is going to happen organically. Now, but let's say you're starting from scratch, which option should you start with? There's so many different options to choose from. The way I see it, these are the best options in terms of job prospects, future market potential, and potential also to grow your own business. So I would personally break this down into two categories, whether you have some type of money when you're starting out or if you have absolutely no money. If you have a little bit of money, I would recommend getting into Google Ads or Facebook ads or TikTok ads or all of them at the same time, depending on the amount of money that you have. On these platforms, you can basically get results overnight. You can get users to your website buying your products or your services overnight. So these results are really quick, but they're going to be harder to sustain since you're going to need a lot of money. And it also depends how competitive your niche is in these markets. Now, if you have absolutely no money, then I would personally recommend SEO. You could realistically do everything yourself. You can create all the content, you can foster relationships and get all the backlinks you'd like. It's going to be a lot harder. You can definitely do it with just buying a domain for 10, 15 bucks. So those are the two paths that I would recommend if you're starting from scratch. By the way, guys, if you're looking to get into SEO, you want to get exposed to SEO data as soon as you can. So you want to start doing keyword research, you want to learn about how your competitors are getting traffic. And in order to do that, you can either pay $100 to $200 a month for those really premium tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush, or instead, if you're starting out, you can try out Clicks.so. For 25 bucks a month, you get access to basically the same tools, just simplified and with no extra fluff. So we've picked our lane, we've learned everything we can, and we've started to get exposed to some of this data. What do we do next? It's time to now level up our skills. So we want to put these skills to the test. And the way to do that kind of depends on what your path has looked like to get to this point. So if you have liked learning things on your own, then this is where you can continue your path on your own. So now that you know how to market things, now that you're, for example, really good at Facebook ads or TikTok ads, whatever it is, you just need a product. Right? You know how to market things. Maybe you can create a dropshipping store, you can get into e-commerce, or you can market someone else's product, and that's affiliate marketing. But if instead you haven't liked this idea of learning on your own, if you struggled with solving these problems on your own, then I would highly recommend going to work under someone or for someone that has more expertise than you. It's going to save you a lot of time making those mistakes online. So agencies and startups can be a great place to learn. You're going to get exposed to a lot of people with different knowledge, and you can soak up all of that knowledge very quickly. You're going to have people with expertise with LinkedIn ads, with Facebook ads, with Google, with SEO, whatever it is, a lot of people with expertise that can teach you firsthand how to do all of those things. I honestly could not recommend it enough. My personal path was a little bit of a mix of both. So I started on my own with my own clients, figuring out my own stuff, dropshipping and all of that. And eventually I joined a startup as a head of SEO at 23. And that definitely forced me to learn all the things that I was missing on basically 2x speed. So I couldn't recommend it enough. Now, this next point I would recommend as a personal recommendation from me, something that's worked extremely well for me, and that's building a personal brand. And this is especially if you're looking to stand out today where things are extremely accessible to basically anybody with a computer and an internet connection, right? So I recommend creating a personal brand. And when you do that, you show people that you're the go-to expert for that niche. And instead of applying for jobs, instead of pitching clients for specific services, people come to you directly. So pick a channel, whatever it is, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm a big fan of YouTube, as you guys might know, and start creating content in your niche, and people will eventually be reaching out to working with you directly. And last but not least, guys, try to ignore the noise as much as you can. It's important to stay up to date with the latest trends. AI has been popping off absolutely everywhere. It's important to try these things out. But if you find something that works at a foundational level, try to stick to that. AI content, for example, has been a massive trend in the SEO space. People posting thousands of articles on a brand new websites and getting traffic almost instantly. But most recently, there's been an update that has hit a lot of these websites, and Google has kind of caught up to a lot of the spam content. So while it's always interesting to try these trends and see what works and what doesn't, if you find something that works foundationally, stick to that, stick to the basics. So guys, if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section and let me know what category of digital marketing you guys are interested in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.